Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Phixem, and welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you guys jumping in the channel and checking me out. Jumping right into it. Apex Legends. It's a great game. I enjoy it. Now, I'm going to tell you why that's big. I do not play Battle Royales. I've touched on a little bit of Fortnite. Have not played a lot of it at all. I have not played PUBG at all. H1Z1, I think I maybe played 1 or 2 matches. There's a couple of ones out there that I've played, but I have not put in the amount of time to, as I would say, to Apex Legends by any stretch of the imagination. I got about 8 wins already in this game and choked on the top 3, and ended up finishing 2nd place. But just wanted to give my thoughts on the game. I think the game is really great. Respawn has definitely put their foot down with this, but I think that's already been established. I think there's many other reviews out there that kind of touched up on the game, but one of the main things I wanted to personally touch up on is because I'm a big fan of movement, and I noticed with a lot of shooters, and a lot of games, sometimes aiming down sight does not feel as smooth. Now, Activision does that really, really well. As much as I don't like COD, Activision feels smooth when you playing a shooter. It feels smooth, and one of the things that I enjoy about Respawn's Apex Legends is the way it feels, the way you aim down sight, the way you move, and the way you shoot feels really, really smooth. Excuse me, I burped a little bit. I enjoy the game. It's a great game. Now, it's several things that comes after that. The Apex Legends is a great game, and then it is good. Does this change my mind about EA? Absolutely not. I think EA is a terrible company as it stands. I think they are far removed from what I remember EA was back in high school, growing up as a kid. They're not that. And better yet, Respawn even went on record to talk about EA had nothing to do with this game. They had nothing to do with it. I think it's a crying shame. Kind of like dating myself a little bit with these old terms. I think it's a crying shame the fact that a developer has to tell customers in their player base EA had nothing to do with this, and people who gravitate to the game because they know once EA's hands on it, it's going to be a problem. Now, this is one of the questions that I had thinking about it because I think there's already enough reviews talking about how good the game is, especially because I'm late. I work and I'm trying to get stuff together, so I don't want to hark on everything or repeat everything that everybody else says. I'm curious, will EA ever get their hands on this game? Granted, Respawn didn't have a hand in the development, but I'm curious, does EA's influence still have a say on the game and what it does in the future? And that's what makes me a little bit worried for the game and a little bit concerned. Like, it's released good, and they said they didn't have a problem with the development, but will it have any issues down the line? Will EA try to influence? Will they try to do certain things to turn it into more of a EA Battle Royale, which we already know what Anthem is? I'm not going to even touch on that. But a couple things, speaking of the future, I think according to ScreenRant.com, I'm gonna put the link in the description below. Excuse me. It's gonna be apparently 3 major updates coming. There's gonna be wall running, which I kind of figured wall running was gonna come. If you ever played any of the Titanfalls, wall running was, again, very smooth, and it was very fun to do, and it allowed you to traverse around the area pretty well. Which I'm also kind of thinking about how that's going to work in this game, because there's a lot of wide open terrain. There's a lot of, how can I put it? There's, in the Titanfall games, if you ever played it, you played in like cities, and some of the environments that you played in was kind of close quarters. Which means like moving, you can kind of jump from one building to another building with the wall running mechanic, and it looked good. But I'm just curious how that's going to work here, because there's a lot of space, as you can see, between these buildings, and I'm just curious how that's going to work. They're also going to add double jump. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know the purpose of a double jump in a first-person shooter, but who knows? I'm a type of person where I kind of like Halo jump anyway. When I shoot people, when I pop around corners and stuff like that, just to catch people off guard and stuff like that. So maybe double jumping and working. And the big thing is Titans. Now, I'm very, very curious of how Titans will impact this game. and how it will change. What will be impacted will, if again, going back to Titanfall 2, if you ever remember Titanfall 2 where they when you had Titans, you could get into these huge Titan battles. They had different, different decals and stuff that you can do to customize your Titan, which was pretty cool. And you can, it actually didn't take that much to unlock a lot of that stuff. But he also had different abilities. Like I love the lock-on missiles. And I think the Ion Titan, I think that's what it's called. The Ion Titan was one of the main ones that I used. It had like this big barrage of missiles. Once it's like special meter went up, I guess that's what it's called, but it's like a special meter that goes up, and you get to each particular Titan has a special ability that you can actually use. Outside of that, there's certain ways that I made my Titan in Titanfall 2. Like I love the self-destruct feature, and I'm curious if they're going to port everything over from the actual Titans into the game. And I'm actually really curious to see, just kind of on top of everything else, how much this game is going to change. Because right now, there is a way that people play, because it's just, people running around, they don't have Titans. I'm very curious to see, when you start adding Titans, how much people that are good, how much that will change. Because now you have to learn how to play Titans. Like, as much as I like just the shooting aspect of Titanfall, I had to learn how to get good with Titans when I was playing pubs. So I think the game is great right now. Just kind of wrapping up a bit. I think the game is great right now. I think it's good in the state that it's in. I'm curious to see what the changes in the future are going to do for this game, and is there going to be any EA's influence. But that's it. I just want to touch up on that, give you some of my initial thoughts and the way I thought about it. I think it's a pretty decent game, and that's all the time I have. So thank you guys for jumping in. Thank you for listening to the video and checking me out. I appreciate you guys as always. Until the next episode, peace.